Hey guys, this is Healthy Life Designing. I am Darian. Today we're talking to the wonderful Dr. Kelli Sears. She is a school psychologist for Pickerington, Ohio, and she's going to be talking about what she does at her business Mindscapes to help children with learning disabilities. And she's also going to share a little bit about her journey with her own abuse that she experienced growing up and what led her into becoming a school psychologist. So stick around if you are facing a lot of stress. You also want to make sure you're going to watch this today because they have a new service that they're offering to help alleviate your stress. So if you're a first responder, we know that you are under more stress than most people right now. And I hope that you watch the show and that you're inspired.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
Hey guys, this is Healthy Life Designing. I'm Darian Rolls. Today we have Dr. Kelli Sears here joining us, and thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
My goodness, it's such a pleasure. Always enjoy my time with you.
Our world right now has been rocked and whirled and twirled and everything else upside down. And I know you get to see everything firsthand. And so I thought it'd be really great just to kind of talk about where you are currently in your practice and what you're seeing with your patients.
Yeah, so I'm right in the middle of the storm. We have so many things have changed with COVID and this pandemic, but primarily impacting my world is the social distancing and the online learning. And you know, for so many children that I work with mental health challenges, academic challenges, physical challenges, you know, children with disabilities. These types of changes just rock their world. It caught, you know, the home isolation, not having access to role models, what is appropriate behavior and what should that look like, lacking the socialization, getting in there and being able to learn from their peers. And then just the changes in our routines can be so difficult and so upsetting for children with disabilities. They really rely on their routines to give them a sense of safety and direction for the day. And when those routines are just kind of thrown up into the wind, they don't know which way to go. They don't know how to turn. And then, of course, with some of the shutdowns and many of the resources that they may have otherwise accessed also being shut down or certainly more difficult to access, it has become a situation that I'm quite concerned about. As a school psychologist, what I see is children who are not able to benefit maybe from the online instruction. We've got parents at home who are already dealing with the stresses of having children with disabilities. And then they're just coming under such an overload of stress. And when our parents are stressed out, it's hard for them to really meet the needs of their children as well. So we're kind of all in this circle of where do we go? What can we do to help support these children who right now just are at such a loss with what their life should look like? And I'm seeing, particularly because I work with a lot of children with autism, when their routines are disrupted, it is extremely emotionally distressful for them. And we're finding that they're kind of plummeting into anxiety, depression, and some of these other mental health challenges that can come with such a drastic change in their routines.
And you and I had spoke previously, and one of the things that you had mentioned where you had seen some success in your clients that might, I think you said it's agoraphobia, where you don't leave your house very often. And you mentioned autistic patients where you had been making great progress with some of your clients. And then this happened, and now some may not want to leave their house, or they could have kind of, I don't know what word you would use if things just stop.
Yeah.
With the progression.
Right. So we had, I work with a lot of kiddos with autism, and we do see a lot of anxiety within that particular group of people. And what has happened is I've been working with them towards, learning to calm their bodies and teaching them strategies in order to better match the environment that they're forced into. And right now, they get oftentimes so fixated on one topic or one area of special interest. And so now with COVID being all over the news and everywhere, they begin to focus on that, and then fear comes in. And I've got myself 2 different clients who do not want to leave their homes at this point because they are so fearful of the virus and of COVID, and they're worried about their parents and what if they die. I had one client that literally approached that with me, and his fear was that he would maybe wake up one day and his parents would be dead and he wouldn't know who to call or what to do in that situation. So it is really distressful, and it is impacting them at a very deep level. And so now I'm seeing things go backwards. Gains that we had made are now being reversed, and I'm actually having to reach back further than I ever have had to before in order to start bringing them forward again. And so, I'm concerned because of the emotional distress. That's not fun. That feels horrible in our bodies. It causes a surge of cortisol and hormones that get in there. And then even those things then cause barriers to learning, cause our brains to kind of shut down, take longer to process information, can't really remember what we learned. So we're not storing things well. And if we can't store it well, we can't retrieve it well. And so it's really impacting learning in general for kids, even those who don't have disabilities. And so now we've got children with disabilities. We're sitting in front of a computer screen, and half the time I can't even see them during the session when I'm trying to work with them, because they don't have that kind of body control or that attention span to be able to do that with you. So it limits even how much service we can get to them.
And something that you have found is, you've kind of put yourself in this position where you're filling a void and the gaps, and you're kind of, I would say that you're just this magical person that's able to really hit the places in the school systems that are not being found. And one of the things that you shared with me was about the there's grants out there. There's things that can help these kids that have these disabilities that school systems, they're either unaware of it or they're not utilizing it.
Yes. Well, yeah, so there are funding options out there in order to get the services that the children need. One particular population that I could speak to would be to those parents who have chosen to either put their child in a private school or to homeschool them. And, federal, state mandates for services to children with disabilities under IDEA only applies to the public school setting. And so if a parent chooses to withdraw their children from the public school setting, they're withdrawing them from their IEP services, from their individualized education services. The state of Ohio, though, has something in place in order to a safety net for that population, and that is that we offer the John Peterson and Autism scholarships. Those are scholarships that can go out to families who have chosen to withdraw from public education and their child has an active IEP. With those two things in place, they can reach out and receive funding for all of their IEP services through an approved provider with the state of Ohio. So for example, at Mindscapes, my company, we provide IEP services via the scholarships to those families who are in those situations. So there is funding available. You don't have to give up your IEP services. And so we have the children come here and then we literally service whatever is on their IEP. So speech and language, occupational therapy, psychological services, tutoring services. So whatever it is that their IEP calls for, we're able to provide those services here to them. So that is one avenue that they can take to get some services on board if they haven't done so already.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to take a break right there. And Dr. Kelli and I are going to talk a little bit more when we come back from the break about her services and what actually led her into becoming a psychologist herself. So stick around. You're going to want to see this whole episode today. We'll have more when we come back.
Hi, I'm Amanda Wattenberg, Regional Director at Ohio Guidestone. Do you or does someone you know have a substance abuse disorder? Have you been thinking about getting help, but don't know where to start? It takes a lot of courage to ask for help, but it's the most important step you can take. If you think you know everything that's available in Fairfield County, think again. Like other chronic diseases, addiction can be managed successfully. Treatment enables people to counteract addiction's powerful, disruptive effects on the brain's behavior and regain control of their lives. Even if it takes multiple attempts, treatment does work and people do recover from addiction every day. So keep trying because your life matters. You matter, and we're here to help. Call 211 and ask for the treatment resources available right here in Fairfield County.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board. Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area where the fountain is and the memorials and the flags and all this stuff. And we looked around and I said, there's our bank right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. And the employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Green Machine. Like to be part of Green Machine, keep me busy, and it's also important that we do it together as a group, and we plow and plant, and we have lots of produce. We have tomatoes like one here, and gourds, cucumbers, squash, strawberries, beets, microgreens. We also have flower arrangement, and we also sell bags, those tote bags out of animal food bags, and we sell them out in the market, farmers market.
It's a special place that keeps people healthy by eating a couple fruits and vegetables. I always show people, first time they pick raspberries and green beans, I show them how to do it like they do it wrong. Picking raspberries and green beans is simple, it's easy for me. We're entering some things in the field like pumpkins, the gourds were growing, and everyone likes them. Tasty.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Hey guys, we're back. Healthy Life Designing. We've been catching up with Dr. Kelli Sears, and we've talked a lot about what this world has been like for her patients from a mental health standpoint. And now we're going to shift gears a little bit. And Dr. Kelli, what led you into this world of psychology?
Well, you know, everybody's journeys are so unique, but for me, I actually grew up in a very abusive home. I was sexually, physically, emotionally abused for several years, and after some time ended up in the home with my grandparents, who were very wonderful and kind, and tried to help stabilize us a little bit. As I moved into my adult life, I had a lot of mental health struggles as a result of that childhood trauma that I'd experienced. And as I began to work through those things, it opened up my heart, and I felt like this was something I wanted to be able to help other people do, to kind of go through this process towards healing when they've had these horrible and traumatic experiences. You know, the research would tell us in those situations, you know, it can go one of two ways, and unfortunately, it usually goes down. And with those types of experiences in childhood, it becomes very difficult to do the adulting as an adult and participate in a meaningful way in society, contributing. And, you know, so with that being said, I started getting some insight into some of this and how it was impacting me personally. And then as I started having children and started getting into the family thing, it just really flooded me with this realization that there was a better version of me out there I hadn't found yet. And so I began to reach out for some support services, and then I just developed a heart to kind of serve others and to get help into the hands of others, which led my husband and I and our family to even, we moved to South America, and we're down there for a few years, contributing as missionaries down there. And
That's awesome.
Then returned home in order to support one of my family members who was struggling with drug addiction, and ended up getting involved in foster care because I wanted to be able to contribute in a positive way to children's lives. I wanted to be able to be that support, that nurturing person that I didn't have when I was a child. And so we did get started into foster care, which led us in a whole nother direction, which was I ended up being the parent at the IEP team meetings at the schools, advocating for my foster children. And I became frustrated with what I considered to be a lack of mental health care on these IEPs. That
Right.
even though school psychological services are a related service that children should have access to, they're very rarely put on an IEP. And so at that point, I decided I wanted to sit at the other end of that table. And I went back to school and went all the way through from undergrad all the way to PhD, because by then I was already in my 40s, so I didn't have time to pause. I needed to go straight through and get right to work. And so that's what I did. So I got started in school psychology, which is different than psychology in general, in that we focus on education and learning and how mental health issues impact that scenario, which obviously is huge in our children's lives. Think about how many hours they spend in that environment. And
Right.
so I have just, I love what I do. It's challenging. It can be frustrating, but I am just continually on the hunt for ways to help, ways to support. One of the things we started doing here in our office along those lines is called neurooptimal feedback. It's a very simple strategy where it's kind of like an EEG, where little things are on the head and they're reading your electrical impulses, and it helps reroute it. It gives your brain information about where this is headed, and then you get to make an instantaneous decision, perhaps to route it in another direction that would be healthier. So it's just a wellness tool. It's not a medical tool, it's a wellness tool. And I personally got so much relief from stress, and it returned. I would say, man, I need my brain back. And that's exactly what Neurooptimal did for me. It gave me my brain back. It helps me focus and have clearer ideas. So as I began to really benefit from this wellness tool, I decided to bring it into the office for my clients to benefit from as well.
And what type of clients would you say are benefiting the most from that?
Stressed out clients, people who are stressed out. It's a way of relaxing your brain and helping your brain make decisions towards health, instead of decisions towards stress. You can either ramp your neurological system up or we can ramp it down. So with that being said, it's a tool that I found very helpful. Kids who are having difficulty studying and maintaining focus, having a difficult time studying and maintaining their focus, concentrating, it helps calm that down. Athletes tell us that they're better able to focus on
performance,
the techniques,
yes,
things like that, to really improve their sports performance. Oh gosh, our first responders. If I could get every first responder in here, oh my goodness.
Well, they might be
Just
watching, so hopefully they will watch and hear about this.
Yeah, come on in and let us help you. You are, living a very intense, high-paced life right now,
Absolutely.
on the front lines. I've just found it to be just a tool that's been very helpful. It's quick and easy. Come on in for 20 minutes and get on back to what you were doing.
Right. If there is a takeaway that you could leave us with, we're just about out of time. If you could leave us with a little takeaway, what would you say that would be?
Well, I have a family motto that we've always lived by, and we continue to live by today. And that motto, in a society like we have today, where there's so much division and a lot of confusion about masks and are they any good, and what about this, and does that work, does that not work? And what I would just encourage people to do is just give of yourself a little bit. And that's going to make it a better world. Do what you can do today to make a difference in someone else's life. So our motto in our family and here in my business is today and just for today. I'm going to give just a little bit more than I take. And then tomorrow, I'm going to start all over and do it again. So if we can just take it one day at a time and do what we can do today, then this will be a better place for all of us.
Oh my gosh. And then it's so simple, it's so easy, but if we could just take the time to apply it. If anybody would like to reach out and get in touch for a consultation or to learn more about your business, where can they find you?
We are in Pickerington, Ohio at 1241 Hill Road, but you can find us online at www.mindscapesohio.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter and all those other types of things as well. But if you go to our website, we actually have a link there where you can set up a 15-minute free consultation with us. So, look around the website, see if there's something there that you think, might be supportive to you and your family, and then go ahead and get a 15-minute consultation with us, and we'll go from there.
Very good. Thank you so much, Dr. Kelli, for being here today.
Oh, goodness. Thank you for the invitation. It's just a pleasure to be able to contribute in this way so that we can, bring this to the attention of others so they understand where our struggles are with these kiddos. And let's just all get together, work together, and do the right things for these kids.
I agree. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Dr. Kelli Sears, look her up. Mindscapes is her business in Pickerington, Ohio. Until next time, we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.